Yes, once again we asked these 5 AIs, but this time for the all-time Serie A and C. And let me warn you, some of these choices are going to be very controversial. Every decision comes from the AIs, not the creator of this video. Let's dive in. As always, we'll start with the bench. For the head coach, Grok and DeepSeek chose Arrigo Sacchi. He revolutionized Serie A with his AC Milan, implementing high pressing, a high defensive line, and an organized offside trap. His philosophy was built on teamwork and constant attacking. Sacchi only won 1 Scudetto, but more importantly, he forever changed Italian tactical culture, proving that success could come through offensive football, not just traditional defense. But ChatGPT and Gemini went with Giovanni Trapattoni, while other coaches like Marcello Lippi, Fabio Capello, or Massimiliano Allegri also have incredible resumes in Serie A and certainly deserve recognition. Trapattoni's sheer number of titles, his longevity, and the fact that he succeeded with different clubs put him a level above. With Juventus, for example, he won 6 Scudetti, 2 Coppa Italia, and most impressively, he remains the only Italian manager to win all 3 major European club competitions with a single team: the European Cup, the Cup Winners' Cup, and the UEFA Cup. In the end, it was Le Chat who made the final call, voting for Giovanni Trapattoni. He takes the spot as the manager of this historic Serie A 11. Now let's move on to the goalkeeper. And honestly, there was never any doubt about this choice. All the AIs voted for Gianluigi Buffon. He owned the goal for more than 2 decades, holder of the all-time Serie A record for minutes without conceding, 974 in 2016, multiple-time Italian Goalkeeper of the Year, and winner of 10 official Scudetti. Buffon didn't just make saves, he dominated the penalty area and anchored championship-winning streaks with a consistency that no one else could match between the posts. Without a doubt, Gianluigi Buffon is the rightful owner of this spot. But now, let's see who makes up the defense. We'll start with the right back. Grok chose Javier Zanetti. With 615 Serie A appearances, all of them with Inter, he won 5 Scudetti, including the legendary treble of 2010. As captain for 19 years, he led Inter's rebirth after Calciopoli. His contribution was defined by unmatched reliability and the ability to fill multiple defensive and midfield roles. He surpasses rivals like Maicon or Cafu because of his longevity and historic leadership. A fantastic choice from Grok. But ChatGPT brought up a legend, Cafu. Il Pendolino set the standard for the modern attacking fullback in Italy without neglecting his defensive duties. Champion with Roma in 2001 and AC Milan in 2004, he was a constant threat on the flank with precise crosses and great tactical awareness. In Serie A, he defined what it meant to be a dynamic and dominant right back. Another massive name for this position. Le Chat supported this decision, giving Cafu his second vote, while DeepSeek sided with Grok, casting his vote for Zanetti. That left the final say to Google's AI, who voted for Zanetti. The Argentine takes the spot as right back in this historic 11. Now let's see who makes up the center-back duo. For the first defender, Gemini went with Paolo Maldini, the Italian who spent much of his career as a left back. But Grok chose Franco Baresi. With 531 appearances and 6 Scudetti for AC Milan, Baresi redefined the role of the center-back as an elegant organizer, even winning Serie A's Best Defender award in 1990. His influence was clear in Milan's legendary 1992 season, when the defense conceded just 21 goals. His vision of the game and passing out from the back helped shift Italian football toward a more possession-oriented style. Baresi also surpassed Fabio Cannavaro thanks to his leadership as captain during Milan's golden era. The rest of the AIs agreed, also voting for Baresi. With 4 out of 5 votes, Franco Baresi earns his place as the first center-back in this historic dynasty. And who should partner Baresi? For ChatGPT and DeepSeek, the answer was clear. Gaetano Scirea. Pure elegance and efficiency. 7 Scudetti, 0 red cards, flawless distribution as a sweeper, and a calm presence that elevated everyone around him. In Juventus of the 70s and 80s, Scirea was the perfect balance between marking and building play. But for Le Chat and Grok, the choice had to be Alessandro Nesta. With 417 Serie A appearances and 3 Scudetti, 1 with Lazio and 2 with Milan, He won the Best Defender award 4 times, known for his elegance and anticipation. His move to Milan in 2002 strengthened the league by bringing together legendary defenders. Nesta surpassed Giorgio Chiellini thanks to his technical refinement and influence on the modern game. Together they complement each other. Baresi with his historic leadership, Nesta with his consistency across multiple clubs. It was up to Google's AI to decide, and it chose Alessandro Nesta. He takes the second center back spot. Now we move to the left back position. Grok put forward Paolo Maldini. Yes, Maldini again, and with good reason. The second player with the most Serie A appearances, 647 in total, and 7 Scudetti with Milan. In his early and mid-career, he played more than 400 games as a left back, even winning the Best Defender award in 2004. Maldini transformed the role, turning it into a multifunctional position. And as Milan's captain for 12 years, he inspired generations of defenders. But Gemini had a different opinion, Giacinto Facchetti. Before him, the left-back role was almost exclusively defensive. Under Helenio Herrera's Inter, Facchetti revolutionized the position with his attacking runs, pace, and goal-scoring ability. However, the rest of the AIs sided with Paolo Maldini. He secures the left-back spot, completing this historic defense. Let's move on to the midfield, and here's where things get messy. For the defensive midfielder, Grok went with Andrea Pirlo, the architect of the midfield. While his role can be described as defensive, his true impact was in orchestrating the game from deep. Pirlo revolutionized the regista position, dictating tempo, breaking lines with pinpoint passing, and defending with intelligence rather than brute force. In Serie A, he was a pillar for both Milan and Juventus, winning 6 league titles in total. He didn't need pace or strength, his mind was always several steps ahead of everyone else. Lecce brought another name, Gennaro Gattuso, the most intense and relentless defensive midfielder Serie A has ever seen. With Milan, he won 2 Scudetti and was the heartbeat of the midfield. His ball-winning ability, leadership, and tactical discipline made him irreplaceable. But DeepSeek offered a third choice, Claudio Gentile, the very definition of a destroyer. He won 6 Scudetti with Juventus, and his role wasn't to create, it was to break the opponent's game. And he did it with incredible ferocity and ruthless efficiency. His marking was suffocating, famously shutting down legends like Maradona and Zico in key matches. In the end, ChatGPT and Gemini had the final say, and both voted for Andrea Pirlo. The Italian maestro claims the defensive midfield spot in the all-time Serie A 11. We continue with the creative midfielder. This time, Grok voted for Michel Platini. With 147 appearances and 3 consecutive Scudetti, he scored 68 goals as a midfielder and won the Capocannoniere 3 times. An extraordinary feat for a playmaker. His influence lay in elevating Juventus to dominance. Platini changed the game with his creativity and vision, inspiring generations of modern midfielders. But Lecce had a different idea. Andrea Pirlo? Yes, Pirlo's name comes up again, but that's not all. Gemini pointed to another legend, Roberto Baggio. He played for several of Italy's biggest clubs, including Fiorentina, Juventus, and Milan. Baggio wasn't just a scorer, he was a creator, a dazzling dribbler, and a master of free kicks. He won the Ballon d'Or largely due to his Serie A brilliance. While his career wasn't stacked with league titles, his elegance, flair, and ability to decide matches make him a strong candidate for this role. In the end, the majority sided with Grok. The rest of the AIs also voted for Michel Platini, securing his spot as the creative midfielder in Serie A's all-time 11. We move on to the attacking midfielder. DeepSeek initially voted for Michel Platini. Lecce also named someone who has already appeared in this video, Roberto Baggio, but ChatGPT went in a different direction and voted for him, Diego Maradona, the number 10 who shifted the balance of Italian football to the south. 2 Scudetti with Napoli, Capocannoniere in 1988, and a competitive spirit that transformed the club. As a mezzala, he thrived between the lines, drew defenders, and decided big matches. His time in Serie A was about leadership, unique talent, and historic titles. Things got even more interesting when Grok voted for Francesco Totti. With 619 appearances, the third most in Serie A history, and 250 goals, he won just 1 Scudetto, but became the eternal icon of Roma. With over 100 assists and unmatched loyalty, Totti embodied the trequartista role, surpassing Maradona in longevity and total contributions. it all came down to Gemini's vote. And in the end, Gemini chose Francesco Totti. The Roman legend claims the attacking midfielder spot in Serie A's all-time 11. Now let's move on to the attacking trio. Here, the AIs were far from agreeing. DeepSeek went with Bruno Conti. He was the embodiment of a right winger in Roma's 1980s glory days. A key pillar in their 1983 Scudetto triumph, Conti stood out for his dribbling, vision, and pinpoint crosses that defined Roma's attacking play. But Gemini had a very different choice: Silvio Piola. Though mainly a center forward, he remains the all-time top scorer in Serie A history with 274 goals. Incredible, but this doesn't end there. And Grok brought in a third option: Kaká, the 2007 Ballon d'Or winner. With 270 Serie A appearances and 1 Scudetto, he scored 77 goals and provided countless assists, often thriving as a right winger in Milan's 4-3-3. That wasn't all. Le Chat threw yet another name into the debate: Diego Maradona. Yes, even El Diego was considered for this spot, but in the end, it was ChatGPT who settled the discussion, voting for Bruno Conti. And so, the Roma legend secures the right wing position in Serie A's all-time 11. And the debate reached the left wing. Grok went with Pavel Nedved. With 327 appearances and 4 Scudetti, he scored 65 goals from the left side and won the 2003 Ballon d'Or thanks to his outstanding performances in Serie A. A solid choice from Grok. But ChatGPT mentioned Mario Corso, a key member of Helenio Herrera's Inter, a left-footed winger with a unique strike. Corso specialized in breaking down tight games and constantly providing width for one of Italy's greatest sides. Le Chat had another name in mind: Roberto Mancini. He was the deadliest left winger of the 1990s Serie A. With Sampdoria, he won the club's first and only Scudetto, finishing as their top scorer in multiple seasons. His pace, dribbling, and eye for goal made him an ideal fit for this position. And just when it seemed the debate was over, Gemini brought in a fourth contender: Alessandro Del Piero. Synonymous with elegance and goals in Serie A, Del Piero is Juventus's all-time top scorer. Though he often played as a forward, his most effective role was drifting in from the left, acting as a second striker or winger. With 7 Serie A titles, leadership across more than 15 years, set-piece mastery, and game-changing quality, he was hard to overlook. A truly complete player, full of quality. 4 different names. And it all came down to DeepSeek. The Chinese AI cast the deciding vote for Roberto Mancini. He secures the left wing spot in Serie A's all-time 11. Before moving on to the substitutes, we only have one spot left: the center forward. Gemini spoke first and went with Marco van Basten. In just 6 seasons at AC Milan, he left an unforgettable mark on Serie A. He won 4 league titles with the Rossoneri, and his ability to score from every angle, with either foot, was unmatched. Van Basten also won 3 Ballon d'Or awards during his Milan years. Though injuries cut his career short, his impact was so immense that many still regard him as one of the greatest strikers of all time. But the French AI had a different opinion, choosing Gabriel Batistuta. It said he was the most complete and lethal center forward in Serie A history. With Fiorentina, he scored 168 goals in 269 games, becoming the club's top scorer in 7 seasons. Later with Roma, he won a Scudetto and was a key figure in their attack. Without a doubt, a worthy contender. Still, Grok brought another name into the discussion: Gunnar Nordahl. With 291 appearances and 225 goals, he is the 3rd highest scorer in Serie A history. He won 5 consecutive Capocannoniere awards and 2 league titles with Milan. His efficiency and consistency, combined with silverware, put him above Silvio Piola. The debate came to an end when ChatGPT and DeepSeek both cast their votes for Gunnar Nordahl. He claims the final spot, completing Serie A's all-time 11. But it doesn't end here, because the AIs also picked their substitute. They all agreed that Dino Zoff should be the backup goalkeeper. 11 seasons with Juventus after an initial spell at Napoli, 6 Serie A titles, 2 Coppa Italia trophies, and a UEFA Cup make him a true legend. As the first defender, the choice was Gaetano Scirea, an elegant center back and natural leader who spent 14 consecutive seasons with Juventus. To accompany him, the most voted was Giacinto Facchetti. He was the first defender with a true attacking vocation in Serie A, scoring 59 league goals, an extraordinary number for a defender. In midfield, the most mentioned was Gianni Rivera, the golden boy and creative playmaker of AC Milan for 19 seasons. He remains an icon of elegance in Serie A's midfield history. Alongside him, it had to be Roberto Baggio, the genius attacking midfielder who shone for Juventus, Milan, Inter, and Bologna for over a decade in the league. For the first forward, the chosen one was Giuseppe Meazza, one of the earliest great stars of Serie A complete striker with an incredible eye for goal. And finally, as the last reinforcement, the pick was Alessandro Del Piero, a versatile forward and Juventus's eternal captain. So what do you think of Serie A's all-time 11? Let us know in the comments, hit the like button, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss anything. See you in the next video with more than football.